It's always nice to be asked to come up in front of the church and talk about giving money. So many people came today to hear this message. That's good. I feel encouraged. So years ago, Erin and I both we had experiences through international service that really shaped our perspective on giving. I used to work as a campus minister, and there was one season in my life in particular where everything was just falling through. My application for grad school was rejected. The house that I was living in was going to be sold, and I just didn't know what I was going to do. And I had the opportunity to preach, and I was sharing this experience at a church, and a woman that I'd never met at the end of that service came out to me, and she gave me $20 for gas money. And I never really thought of myself as someone who needed the monetary generosity of others. And in that moment, it was deeply humbling just for someone to reach out in love to me. A few months later, in that same year, I was in Italy, and I'd spent that summer working with refugees. And I'd met this man named Kazim, and it was like, flew into Italy, flew into Rome, took the train into Termini, and this is the first thing that happens to me. I meet this guy, Kazim. He was a professional soccer player in Nigeria, and he'd fled his home country due to religious persecution. And in the EU at that time, regulations precluded him from receiving a wage for 6 months. And our ministry team leader, this is our first interaction. I get off the train, I meet this guy, we meet Kazim, and he asks if we have any cash on hand to support Kazim's rent. And so we just empty out our pockets, and Kazim is just weeping that this group of literally complete strangers helped him. And by giving, we spoke to the reality of God's presence in and for him.
During college, I went to Ethiopia with our campus ministry and saw the impact of generosity on the lives of people living there. My interest in international medicine is what brought us to Houston, and I was able to travel to Honduras, Argentina, and Eswatini during medical school and residency. I was humbled by the profound poverty I witnessed in all these experiences. I can still picture several patients and situations clearly, and my only thought is it should not be this way. Still, in my current job, I have the same feeling on more occasions than I can count. In these moments, I have seen those that live in despair, but I have also seen those who have profound gratitude and contagious joy with minimal things. Giving is both a discipline and a source of joy in our lives. We sought to build a practice of giving when we were first married, and that meant practical trade-offs for us. As our careers have grown, we have more means, so our giving has expanded. Honestly, we do not always give joyfully. Sometimes we struggle. But we do give faithfully as a discipline, and we have never regretted it, because God is faithful even when we are not.
So as we reflect on our shaping experiences, we realize that one of the deepest gifts of giving is that when you give, it facilitates presence. And in this phase of life, Erin and I have 3 kids. We can't always be present physically to minister in ways that we have in the past. And sometimes when you're asked to write a check or a Venmo or whatever digital medium you choose to use, that can feel like a really disconnecting experience. A way to satisfy your perceived moral obligation without actually engaging in the work. But for us, it's not our presence, our literal, Erin and I, our presence that matters. It's the presence of the Holy Spirit that changes. We trust that God uses our gifts to facilitate his gift, and the great gift is that he came. He's with us. His gift is his presence and the work of redemption and restoration. Thanks.